Good afternoon. We're going to call the Omnibus Supplemental Finance Bill Conference Committee to order. Members, we have the K-12 articles in front of you, actually. Just a little process first before we start. You should have a sheet in front of you that says K-12 Proposed Conference Committee Adoptions that you can track where we're going with. And then we have the spreadsheets. We only have 3 articles in front of you at this point, but there's 9 total. So to manage paper, we're going to just go through the first 3, and then we'll collect and move, and then pass out the next 3. We have Chair Loon, and we have Chair Dames and Chair Pratt. I can barely see them. So of course, Chair Pratt is for Education Policy in the Senate. Chair Dames is sitting in for Senator Nelson at this point, and of course, Chair Loon chairs the House Education Policy and Finance. Do you have any comments, Senator or Representative Knoblach?
Senator Rosen, now, I was doing that to you yesterday, now you're doing it to me.
I know. Get my game face on.
No, I don't have any comments. Appreciate the hard work the committee put in last night. I thought we made a lot of good progress yesterday, and we're hoping to make more good progress today.
Yep, absolutely. So first, we're going to have the chairs walk through. We'll start with you, Chair Loon, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Do you want me to walk through the articles or just the funding portion?
Just an overview, please.
Okay. So we had a little over $30 million to accomplish what we want to in this omnibus, and it is both policy and finance. I think the biggest component of our spending in this is for a school safety package. And as we go through the specific provisions, members will hear what those are, but a lot of similarities between the House and the Senate bills on that, and so we kind of combined everything, the best of the best, as well as recommendations from the governor. So there's Safe Schools revenue, there's some grants for things for physical security audits, there's school safety assessment teams, money for suicide prevention, some flexibility with long-term facilities maintenance, for a couple of years so that schools can accomplish the projects that they'd like to ensure that their buildings are safe and that students are secure, as well as some individual grants for priorities from the House and Senate, English language learners, school bus safety campaigns, character development education, some PSEO grants and that, and we can go through, or staff can go through the spreadsheets. So I think our school safety package, which is the first article, is very strong. And school-linked mental health, I neglected that, and a very important component, Madam Chair. And thank you for your long-standing and consistent work with that as well. Something that I think is incredibly important, and we have been in an upward trend in terms of providing more resources to schools for mental health services for their students. When I travel to schools, wherever I go in Minnesota, a small rural district, suburban district, the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, it is the one consistent theme that I hear from school officials, from teachers, is that they have more students presenting with mental health challenges and they really need more resources to deal with that. So I think that is an incredibly important component of what we're doing. And then funding, the $5 million of funding for that for each year is going to be ongoing in the tail. So that's a permanent increase in that fund, which I think is very important. You know, a few other things that we'll talk about in the articles, I'll just mention some things on student discipline. And again, much of this is taken from the governor's bill, and then the House and the Senate, sort of, we put our own sort of touches on it. But I think a very good components on some discipline reforms. We are going to increase sort of attention to civics education for high schoolers, something that Representative Erdahl had worked very hard on the House side. Dyslexia screening and identifying that for students and providing more help is something that's also prominent in the bill. Just trying to pick out some highlights here. Teacher Code of Conduct or Teacher Code of Ethics. This is a bill that I carried in the House, and there were some components of that in the Senate bill as well. So we worked out provisions on that. So we will be codifying the Teacher Code of Ethics. That was part of the rules for the Board of Teaching, or now PELSB, and that will be codified with some changes and strengthening of that. There will be a temporary delay in the new tiered licensure system as PELSB rolls that out. Lunch shaming, school lunch provisions, this has been a topic of some concern, and so we had very similar provisions in the House and Senate bill that we combined, and to make sure that students are not shamed or in any way disrespected as they are getting their school lunch. And just some technical and other things, I think, whether it's language coming from the department or some other issues, but I think we addressed some important needs for the second year of the biennium, and again, with the focus being a very strong school safety package, which I think is important to all of us.
Thank you, Representative Loon, appreciate that. Senator Dames.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair, and members. I kind of ran up the steps, so I was a little out of breath, but I want you to know it's not because I'm an older person, it's because I'm so darn young, my lungs haven't matured yet, so.
That's right.
I'm catching my breath, so we'll move on from there. Senate File 3656 represents significant progress in school safety policy and modest improvements in many other areas. Safe schools become a premier concern in E12 education finance this session, and this bill delivers important tools to address those primary concerns. Almost all of the 2019 new money, $25 million in these articles, is devoted to safe schools and student mental health. The articles include $1 million in new 2019 one-time school safety audit for school safety audits. We have tails of $15 million a year in the articles are devoted to safe schools and student mental health grants. The existing safe school revenue program is expanded in its possible uses and is bolstered by city and state aid, $20 million in 2019 and $15 million in the tails. This is now modestly equalized for the low property wealth districts. Through Safe Schools revenue and small expansion to long-term facilities maintenance revenue, districts will be able to make needed safety-related facility improvements. Additionally, with savings found in other parts of the E12 budget, one-time funds were made available for the following safety-related purposes. School bus safety campaign for $41 million, character development grants for $41,000, character development grants for $725,000, Jake's Law substance abuse prevention for $300,000, school safety student assessment grants for $150,000, school resource officer training for $250,000, suicide prevention training for teachers for $273,000, and then other non-safety related strengths of the bill include increased aid for districts with higher than average telecommunication access charges. A lot of that would apply to our rural districts. Regional libraries are also allowed to use funds to purchase equipment for increased internet access. And the McPhail Online Music Education Program in rural Minnesota will be used, and in vocational enrichment revenue for extended week and summer pilot programs. All in all, I feel it's a pretty well-rounded bill for the number of dollars were spent, and I think that it's will certainly be of help.
Thank you, Senator Dames. And Senator Pratt, and I know Representative Erickson is your counterpart in the House, but I do not see her at this point, so. And I don't see you actually either, Senator Pratt, but you're back there, I know.
Unfortunately, Bjorn's so darn tall.
That's right.
Well, between Bjorn and Greg sitting on the same side, I can't see you either. Well, thank you, Madam Chair. And I know this is a finance committee, and so I won't spend a lot of time talking about policy, but I think there are a couple of very important items that both the Senate and the House were able to come to agreement on. You know, it was remarkable how similar our bills were coming in, and so those items where we were different, were very easy to target and discuss. A couple of things, Chair Loon really touched on most of them, but I want to talk just about a couple. On school safety, working with the House to define a process where students who threaten violence against a school may be expelled, and making sure that that's perfectly clear that our school districts have that authority. Too often we're seeing hoax threats or even real threats coming through, and we want to make sure that those are treated consistent with the severity of the act. Non-public schools, non-public students are able to participate in PSEO at 10th grade, which is the same as our public school students, to make sure that we've got consistency among our homeschoolers and our public school students. We're requiring schools to categorize expenditures for basic skills revenue and require MDE to submit a report to the legislature. We're also increasing the number of audits to standards that the districts will do. We make it easier for military recruiters to be in our local schools talking about career options in the military, and allowing students who are affected by active duty with excused absences. We did quite a bit with dyslexia. Dyslexia was a problem that really had a lot of discussion as we talk about literacy. Literacy is one of the most important factors when identifying a student's success in school, and we're finding more and more often that dyslexia seems to be part of the root of that. And so screening students who display characteristics and symptoms of dyslexia, but also ensuring that the new dyslexia specialist works with the Pellsby to identify criteria so that teachers can have continuing ed to spot those characteristics. We want to make sure that our MCA testing, which is used to test student proficiency, is done as late as possible in the year. We worked with unclaimed drugs. This was an issue that school nurses brought to us, where they are stuck with a cabinet full of unclaimed prescription drugs at the end of a school year and had no way to dispose of them. This provides a framework for that to be done. Under special education, we're going to convene a legislative working group to look at why or what's driving the rising costs in special education, so that we can take a look at that next year and start to draft some policies and hopefully some understand what the financial needs will be. With that, I think for the most part, Chair Loon covered it, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Chair Pratt. Appreciate all of you for your fine work on this bill. With that, I am going to turn over to the spreadsheet. Members, we have three of them actually in front of you. We have the property tax tracking one. It's the largest colored, this one. We also have the aid appropriations summary, which is another long one, dated 7:15 p.m. But I believe I'm going to have Ms. Larson and Ms. Adrian's go over the change item summary, which is a smaller, short, semi-colored version. And who would like to start? Ms. Larson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I can start with the spreadsheet walkthrough, and then I'll pass it over to Ms. Adrians if that works for you. So as Madam Chair stated, we'll be going over the one-page summary of all of the change items. To briefly orient you with the spreadsheet, across the top, you will see columns.
Ms. Larson, excuse me, members, we're on the 5/14/2018 at 7:15 p.m. It's a smaller, there seems to be a little confusion, the smaller one. Okay, thank you. Ms. Larson.
Thank you. So I should state that the two other spreadsheets are just a more detailed version of the change item sheet. This condenses all of those changes appropriately. So to orient you with the spreadsheet, you will see columns A through F at the top of the page. These are for each fiscal year and then the biennial totals. The lines going down the side are going to be useful in identifying which program we're on. And then there are article numbers which show where the provision can be found in the side-by-side summary. So beginning at the top on line 10, the conference agreement would be to include non-public 10th grade students in CTE PSEO courses at $10,000 per year beginning in fiscal year 2019. Line 11, the graduation incentives program for students aged 21 at $26,000 in fiscal year 2019 only. Line 12 would be the OLA report on school revenue, and this would be in fiscal year 2019 only at $200,000. Line 14 would be the school bus safety campaign at $41,000 per year in fiscal year 2019 only. Onto the school safety article provisions. Line 15, incentive grants for character development education. This would be $190,000 of guaranteed funding in fiscal year 2019, and then $535,000 would be contingent on the consolidation transition revenue and the Department of Education litigation appropriation reallocation. Those are on lines 48 and 51 of the spreadsheet. Line 16, Jake's Law, this $300,000 in fiscal year 2019 only would be contingent upon the Department of Education litigation appropriation reallocation. Line 17 would be long-term facilities maintenance. It would allow districts to include school safety for facilities. This would be fiscal years 2020 and 2021 only. So you will see that in columns D and E. For the tails, this would be a total of $1.7 million. Line 18 is physical security audit grants at $1 million in fiscal year 2019 only. Line 19 is the Safe Schools revenue at $19,919,000 in fiscal year 2019, and the tails total of $15.922 million. Line 20 would be a layer of Safe Schools equalization aid for fiscal years 2020 and 2021 only, for a total of $2.185 million in the tails. Line 21 would be $250,000 in fiscal year 2019 only to the SANA Foundation. Line 22 is the school-linked mental health grants at $5 million per year beginning in fiscal year 2019. Line 24 would provide $250,000 to the school resource officer training. I believe I skipped line 23, which is the school safety assessment grants at $150,000 in fiscal year 2019 only. And line 25 would be suicide prevention training grants for teachers at $273,000 in fiscal year 2019 only. And I will turn it over to Ms. Adrians to go through the education excellence provisions.
Ms. Adrians.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. I will start on line 26. This is the Mind Foundry Learning Foundation grant for $100,000 in fiscal year 2019 only. It is also a grant that is contingent on the litigation funding for the agency being available for other purposes. On line 27, this is the Mounds View Early College Aid Program, $200,000 in fiscal year 19 only. On line 28, there's $31,000 in fiscal year 19 only for the Grand Rapids Children's Museum. On line 29, this is a program, an online access to music education grant program for the McPhail Center, $125,000 in fiscal year 19 only. On line 30, there's $150,000 in fiscal year 19 only for vocational enrichment revenue. On line 31, there is $135,000 in fiscal year 19 only for the vocational PSEO grant. This program is contingent on consolidation transition aid being available for other purposes. On line 32, this is the Monticello adjustment for special ed, and it's $800,000 in fiscal year 19 only. On line 33, this is an increase in access for school districts and charters for telecommunications aid, $562,000 in one-time funding in 19 only. On line 34, $73,000 in fiscal year 19 only for the Promise Neighborhood Central Program in Central Minnesota for Ed Partnerships. On line 35, civics test reporting. This we did not previously have on the spreadsheet, although we had language in the bill. And this is just funding to aid the agency in putting together a program to collect the data and report back on the civics test. And this is $85,000 in fiscal year 2020 only. On line 36, this is the Turnaround Arts Program, and it's $185,000 in fiscal year 2019 only. On line 37, this is a little bit of a different language. It's the same amount, $25,000 in fiscal year 2019 only. It is for Pelsby to develop an ethics complaint process, and it was previously called the academic balance provision. And I think I will turn it back over to Ms. Larson for the savings.
Thank you, Ms. Adrians. Ms. Larson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will go through the savings section. On line 48, there is a savings of $270,000 in fiscal year 2019. This would be contingent on no school districts consolidating in fiscal year 2019. Line 49 is a savings of $600,000 from the Certificate Incentive Program. Line 50 is a savings of $200,000 for the Vision Therapy Pilot Project, which would be canceled as the grant was never accepted. Line 51 would be a contingent savings of $800,000 if the Department of Education were not to need the remainder of the appropriation for litigation and legal fees. Line 52 would be a savings of $800,000 from canceling the remaining Crosswind severance funds. Line 53 would be a savings of $141,000 from a cancellation of the Crosswinds disposition costs that are no longer needed. And that brings us to a net total on line 60. For the 2018-19 biennium, the net total is $28.019 million. And for the 2020-2021 biennium, the net total is $29.922 million. And I'll turn it over to Ms. Adrians, who can walk through the levy changes.
Thank you, Ms. Larson. Ms. Adrians.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. On line 65 is the beginning of the levy changes. This is an increase in $300 per pupil for the local optional levy. And it is, there's a spending and a savings portion, so it is $159 million, but it is spending and reduction, and so that nets out to zero. And then on line 67, this is the Safe Schools levy offset of $1.15 million in reduction. And I just want to point out this is for fiscal years 2021 only, and it ends after the end of the biennium. And then on line 68, this is an increase in the long-term facilities maintenance levy, and as Ms. Larson described earlier, to include school safety uses, and it's an increase of $1.15 million each year, but also only for the 2021 biennium.
Thank you, Ms. Adrians. Are there any questions on the spreadsheet? Any comments, discussion for the chairs? Members will adopt this spreadsheet after we have a chance to go through the articles. With that, before we do that, though, we're going to have testimony from Commissioner Casilius. Welcome, Commissioner Casilius. I think you're back there.
That's better.
There we go. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Chair Knoblach, and members, thank you for having me. Brenda Casilius, Commissioner of Education. I want to thank you for your work and diligence in this session. I also want to thank Representative Loon as well as Senator Nelson for their work, Senator Pratt, and also Representative Erickson, who did work on the education provisions. There are some things that I like, there are some things that we still have to work on, and there are some things that are still rather difficult in the bill. So I'll start with the positives first. I like the strong focus on school safety and the additional resources. It's not just unfunded mandates to school, but there are some resources. We do wish the resources were a little bit more around school safety, but we appreciate the focus on keeping our kids safe. In the school safety provisions, there is good bipartisan support around mental health provisions. Those were also in the governor's bill, and very supportive of the work around mental health funding. There's also agreement and work that was done to protect students around lead in water, and that also is good. And then also work that was done this session around respectful school lunch policies and strengthening dyslexia supports to students. But the problem with the overall bill is that the target is just too low. With the $329 million surplus, the governor has proposed $163 million, and the conference report has $28 million as its target, which is just 8.5% of the surplus going to our children in Minnesota. And with a low tails target as well, that constrains what can be done. So I know that the chairs were constrained with their targets on what could be done, and therefore we have a lot of funding, most of the $28 million going to school safety and very little going to schools, and the remainder going to outside organizations or small granting programs. The governor, in his proposal, has proposed money for equity purposes to target resources to our poorest kids, to address issues of the achievement gap, and to get emergency funding to schools so they don't have to cut their teachers, cut programming further, or in some instances, close schools. So there is the emergency aid he has proposed at $137 million, that's missing. The focus on funding the underfunding, which 195 school districts told us that was their number one priority to bring down the growing costs of special education. The preschool investments that we've made collectively as a body over many years, especially last year, to make them permanent. We certainly don't want to pull the rug underneath our schools, and they need to be able to let parents know early next year if they have spots. And that's over 4,000 students who would lose a spot in preschool. Then we have our Bureau of Indian Education schools, and the House had put in the provision for the Bureau of Indian Education schools, but it did not make it into the final report. These are students who are grossly underfunded by the federal government and should be given ongoing funding. We've made good agreement over the past 4 years for the funding, but it's always been one time, and that funding should be ongoing for those students so they have an equal opportunity to an excellent education like any other Minnesota student. And then there's a small provision in the governor's bill for our adult learners who have yet to earn their high school diploma, and it's just $400,000 so that students are able, or ABE students and students who have maybe dropped out can earn their adult diploma or their GED, so that's missing. And finally, I just want to mention some of the provisions in the bill that are problematic. The governor has said he would prefer that finance bills come as finance bills with no policy in them. And we still have concerns about the summative rating system and the 0 to 100 provision in there, which interferes with the way that we are doing our weighting on our ESSA program. The repeal of the teacher license for pre-K. Already we have lessened the requirements in Minnesota for a qualified teacher by having a tiered license system and not requiring preparation until Tier 4. So I'm not certain why this provision's in there. Increased reporting on civics. I don't know how that's going to make our children better citizens by asking for unfunded mandates from school districts. Increased mandates to the agency and school districts without any additional funding, although I appreciate that some of the funding cuts to the agency were taken out from the Senate provisions in FY19, as well as the provisions of $2 million cut to the agency in 2021. There are multiple mandates in this bill for the agency and new work to school districts as well that don't come with any new funding. And there's still disagreement around Pellsby, although the department does not oversee this board any longer, the Professional Educating Licensing Board. They had delayed it to September 1, but they say they needed at least 4 months to get the new IT systems in, to make sure that everyone and school districts have the proper notifications and training in order to deliver on the licensing and the rules get in place and that sort of thing. And so they're asking for additional time, at least 4 months of time. And then what continues to be problematic is also the litigation funding. And there's been a capture of $800,000. As you know, the state, both bodies, as well as the department, is being sued. We have two large cases, Forsland and Cruz Guzman, in front of the Supreme Court now. We anticipate the AG's office that said that they may take that up this summer. And if that's taken up, we need this funding in order to defend the state properly, to get the experts and to pay the experts so that we are able to address the litigation in front of us. And with that, I just want to say that we are ready to work with the chairs on making this bill more acceptable to the governor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Are there any questions for the Commissioner? Commissioner, when did this emergency aid funding come from the governor, the $137 million? When was that?
I believe it,
proposed?
Madam Chair, committee members, I believe it was May 1st that he proposed it.
Okay. And Commissioner, I also know the pension bill has passed off the Senate floor, unanimous,
Okay.
and it's, I think, approaching the House floor. Do you ever talk about the relief that the pension bill is going to provide to the school districts? Because I have yet to hear that in the conversations.
Madam Chair, committee members, the governor has been supportive of the pension bill and having it run separately. So appreciative of both bodies continuing to address the pension bill. As you know, this is an area that we worked on last year as well, and so that's appreciated.
It should be, provide some relief, though, to the school districts individually for the relief. Senator Benson.
Madam Chair, I don't recall how much impact does the pension bill have on school districts?
Should know that. At least, yeah, 44 to 45 million, I believe.
So, Madam Chair, that'd
Senator
be
Benson.
45 million of funds that they don't have to spend, they could use for other purposes.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Senator Benson. Representative Knoblach just had that in Ways and Means yesterday, so it's fresh on his mind. Further questions for the Commissioner? Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Madam
Appreciate
Chair.
it. With members, we're going to set the spreadsheet aside, and now we're going to go and move to the appropriation articles. We have the KRB 18-09 in front of you.
Madam Chair, I will move the KRB 18-09 article, and I will move the entire Article 33, which is sections 1 through 9, and it is found in the side-by-side on pages R1, R3, R7, R13 to 14, and R20. There's also the schooling to mental health grants in here that originally were in the Senate HHS bill, Article 29, R1.
Thank you, Representative
And
Knoblach.
I'd move that language I mentioned.
Thank you, Representative Knoblach. Is there a discussion on that motion? And chairs, would you like to comment on this motion, on this provision?
Madam Chair, I would be in favor of the motion, and this is the agreement worked out between the House and the Senate, and it's largely the school safety package.
Senator Dames?
I also would be in favor of that.
Senator Pratt is gone. Yes, he's gone. Okay, thank you. I would just like to say something about the schooling mental health grants, and thank you, Representative Loon, for your comments on that. I think that's a very important part. All of us around this table can go to any one of our school districts, and this is becoming a huge issue for them. And what's more troubling is that the waiting list is growing and the resources are not available to address these issues and these children at our schools. So this is a program that's going to go statewide, and it's going to go through telehealth. And the initial visit with the provider will be one-on-one with the family member and the child. It will be provided in a safe place in the school district. And I'm very excited that the House took the Senate language. The House had just the 4 pilot projects that we came up with first, but then the department and all the other advocates agreed that this could go statewide. So with that, Senator Kiffmeyer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think probably the one thing that I heard from my districts more than anything was to give them local flexibility. That was really, really important, and all of our schools are in a little different spot, different place in the state. So giving them that flexibility with the money, so it is a funded need that they have. So I'm really glad to see that my districts are really glad to see that local control and that local flexibility. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Senator Kiffmeyer. Further comments? This is the highlight, the cornerstone of the bill. It's very important. So I'm just going to renew Representative Knoblach's motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion prevails. Representative Knoblach.
Okay, Madam Chair, next I'd like to move Article 34. This is the KRB 18-01. And I think I would like to move sections 1, 2, and 3 of this article. Actually, let me go a little bit further than that. I'll move sections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then sections 7 through 20, excluding section 18. And so, again, that'd be sections 1 through 17, sections 19 and 20. This is found in the general education section of the side-by-side on pages R1 through R9 for the items up through section 17, and then page R16 for the numbers 19 and 20. And this is concerning non-public textbook aids and other non-public items, dual enrollment, eligible institutions, and PSEO, and local option revenue.
Thank you, Representative Knoblach. Questions on that motion? Representative Loon?
I would support the motion, Madam Chair.
Senator Dames?
Yes.
Thank you. Further discussion on the Representative Knoblach motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion prevails.
Okay, Madam Chair,
Representative Knoblach.
I would move the rest of Article 34, which is Section 18 and Sections 21 through 28. These are found in the side-by-side on page R14, R17 through R21. They concern, and Article 33, which is a combination of language from the House and Senate. This concerns school pupil and revenue audits and other various education initiatives within the general education article.
Thank you, Representative Knoblach. Questions, comments on that motion? Yes, it's, Representative Torkelson.
There are a number of repealers at the end of this section. Are we going to cover those?
Sure, that would be Section 28. And,
Mr. Arneson.
yes, Madam Chair, if Mr. Arneson would like to do that.
Madam Chair, the repealers at the end of Article 34 are all from the Senate bill. Paragraph A repealer, Section 123A26 is an unused authority for school districts to request that certain aid payments be made to cooperative units. It's been on the books, but has never been used. 125A75 is a report of special education litigation costs, and the Senate position was that these costs are adequately reported in the district and agency accounting systems, and no duplicate report was necessary. Paragraph B is a repealer of obsolete provisions relating to the conversion of referendum revenue about 10 or 15 years ago. And finally, paragraph C is repealing the board-approved referendum revenue authority that in this subdivision 9A would be made obsolete by the earlier provisions in the bill transferring board-approved referendum authority to the local optional program.
Questions on that, okay, thank you. Okay. Representative Knoblach renews his motion on sections 18, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion prevails. Representative Knoblach.
Madam Chair, next I would like to move language from the KRB 18-04, Article 35. And Madam Chair, this is a pretty significant article, and so I think what I will do
Let's take just a section.
is take the first section related to accountability and instruction, and that would be sections 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 13. And there's also a repealer at the end of this 53A. And Madam Chair, that would be my motion.
Thank you, Representative Knoblach. Mr. Arneson, could you go through the repealer, please? Oops, Butler, Mr. Butler. Ms. Butler, I'm sorry.
Find it. Madam Chair and members, the repealer in 53A or paragraph A, at the end of this article is the definitions for low, medium, and high growth.
Okay. And that's it. Any
And
questions to
Madam Chair,
that?
just so that there's anyone who doesn't have the information who's watching this, this relates primarily to issues relating to graduation requirements, the world's best workforce, statewide testing, school performance, and other related school and student progress.
Questions on this motion? Representative Loon?
Madam Chair, I would support the motion, and just if there's any confusion about the growth that Ms. Butler referenced, some of these are changes that we're needing to do to conform with ESSA, the Every Student Succeeds Act at the federal level. So we're just making our programs conform to that.
Okay, thank you. Senator Dames?
I'll also support the motion.
Thank you. Representative Knoblach renews his motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Motion prevails. Representative Knoblach.
Okay, Madam Chair, I'd next like to move the same article, Article 35, the language from the KRB 18-04 language. This would be sections 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, and 37. This would be language related to student discipline.
Excellent. Comments, questions on this motion? Representative Loon?
Madam Chair, I would support the motion.
Thank you. Senator Dames?
I'll also support the motion.
Members? Representative Knoblach renews his motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion prevails. Representative Knoblach.
Okay, Madam Chair,
We're still on.
we're still on
35.
Article 35, the KRB 18-04 reference. And Madam Chair, from that, I would move sections 10, 11, 42, 1, 2, 12, 45, 25, 38, 39, 40, 43, 44, and 50. And Madam Chair, this relates to primarily three subjects. It relates to student literacy, relates to school employee issues, and relates to other student provisions like education records.
Wonderful. Discussion on the Representative Knoblach's motion. Representative Balloon?
I would support the motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Senator Dames?
Yes, I'll support it.
Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion prevails.
Okay, finally, Madam
Representative-
Chair, in the
Representative Knoblach.
KRB 18-04 reference, I would move the remaining sections, which would be sections 22, 23, 24, 41, 52, 46, 47, 48, 49, 51, and 53B, all again of Article 35.
Thank you, Representative Knoblach, on your motion, and if we could have again, Ms. Butler, on the revisers and the repealers.
Madam Chair and members, the repealer in 53, paragraph B, is the vision therapy pilot program, which was gone over in the spreadsheet as a savings when Ms. Larson was presenting the spreadsheet.
Okay, thank you.
And Madam Chair,
Representative Knoblach?
this relates to a number of kind of miscellaneous articles regarding schools. It also has a number of funding and appropriation issues in it.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Butler, did you have a comment?
Madam Chair, I think you also asked for the revisor instruction. I missed responding. And the revisor instruction is recodifying provisions related to intermediate school districts and putting them as part of the education code.
Okay, thank you. Representative Knoblach renews his motion. Representative Bloom, good?
I would strongly support the motion.
Thank you, Senator Dames.
Also support it.
Wonderful. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion prevails. Now, members, we are going to go to Article 36. It's going to be passed out at this point, and we'll go to 36, 37, and 38. And just those three for right now, so. Everyone should have Article 36, 37, and 38. Representative Knoblach.
Madam Chair, I would move the language in Article 36, which is the KRB 18-08 language, and I'm going to move all of Article 36, which is the following sections, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 through 36, 37, and 38 through 56. And I think I said Section 8.2, and I want to also include Sections 4 and 5. So it's basically Sections 1 through 57 in their entirety. And Madam Chair, this is basically about teachers. It codifies the Code of Ethics, talks about PELSBA board member compensation and other issues relating to the PELSBA board, updated referencing to the licensing board, background checks, disclosure, various other language related to teachers and employees.
Thank you, Representative Knoblach. And Ms. Butler, is there anything else you could add to that? This is quite lengthy here.
Madam Chair, and members, Representative Knoblach's characterizations are correct. A large portion is the teacher ethics bill that Representative Loon and Senator Pratt carried and conferenced, in addition to some reporting requirements for stays of adjudication and bus drivers as well as all school employees. And also the rulemaking for the licensing board and extending that deadline, as well as putting in some temporary rules if the extension is not met.
Thank you, Ms. Butler. Representative Loon?
I would support the motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And Senator Dames?
Also support the motion.
Discussion on this motion? Okay, members, all those in favor of Representative Knoblach's motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion prevails. Representative Knoblach.
Okay, Madam Chair, next we're going to go to Article 37, which is a pretty short article, so I'll move the entire Article 37, which is the KRB 18-03 language. And I will move sections 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is basically various special education articles, talks about homeless transportation for districts that have children moving from one to another, mental health grants, special education adjustment for Monticello, and the special education working group.
Thank you very much, Representative Knoblach, for your motion. Representative Loon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, this is basically the special ed working group that Senator Pratt mentioned and a few other provisions, and I would strongly support its adoption.
Senator
Also
Dames?
support it.
Thank you. Senator Benson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have an amendment that I believe applies to this particular article. How would you like us to proceed with amendments?
We can take it now.
Okay. Madam Chair, I have the SCS 3656 A225 amendment, and I hope it's being offered to the proper article. If council wants to correct me, I'd appreciate it. This was language that the Forest Lake School District has been working on a transportation issue, and they got some funding last year. They'd like to take an approach to review transportation for districts with low density as compared to districts with high density. And so this was an approach that Representative Detmer had brought forward. It was not heard in the Senate, but I'm hoping that we can review the subject matter and that Chair Loon has seen this and can accept it.
And Mr. Botter mentioned that this can be put anywhere, so do not worry about line 1.2. We can insert this anywhere if this is agreeable. Representative Loon.
Madam Chair, committee members, yes, I have spoken with Representative Detmer about this. So he has been working on this for a long time with regards to districts that have higher pupil transportation costs than others, and whether or not those resources they receive for pupil transportation and busing services is adequate. So this is basically convening a working group to look at that issue, and I would be in support of the amendment.
Madam
I'll
Chair.
also support
Senator
it.
James.
Sorry.
I'll also support it.
Yes, Representative Knoblach.
And Madam Chair, I'd say we had some testimony on this issue in Ways and Means last year. In fact, we had put some additional money into our House bill that funded some additional compensation for districts like this that have extraordinary transportation costs. In the end, that was reduced somewhat. This is a problem for some districts, and so I would urge conferees to support this amendment.
Questions on the A225 amendment?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Senator Benson.
As I presented this to members of the Senate conferees, the transportation chair mentioned that there wasn't a transportation expert on this panel. And so I know we had a little trouble with oral amendments last night. If I could ask an indulgence that after line 2.5, we could incorporate the oral amendment.
Another oral amendment? Just joking, Senator Benson.
Actually, line 2.5, delete the period, insert a semicolon. And then on the next line, insert brackets 14, close brackets, the Minnesota Transportation Alliance, period. And I hope that's acceptable to Chair Luna as well.
Members, does everyone understand that amendments, it's on after 2.5, it'd be a new bracket 14, and Minnesota Transportation Alliance would be listed as a representation for transportation. Senator Benson, you move that, make that motion on your A225 amendment?
Yes, I do, Madam Chair.
Questions, discussion on that motion?
And for members, there are no legislators on this
Benson.
Madam Chair. There are no legislative members on this committee, and the working group members are not eligible to receive compensation for the work they do, and so this should have zero fiscal impact. The department is expected to provide technical assistance as they would under any other request.
Okay, wonderful. Senator Kiffmeyer, you're good? Okay, she's good. All right. Senator Benson moves the amended 8225 amendment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion prevails. Thank you, Senator Benson. And Representative Knoblach. Where did we leave?
Well, Madam Chair, I think we have the A225 amendment now as part of Article 37 of the KRB 18-03 language, but I don't think we've adopted the full article yet.
No, we have not. So you have made that motion. Are there questions to the amended article? Okay, Representative Knoblach renews his motion on the amended KRB 1803, Article 37. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion prevails. Representative Knoblach, Article 38.
Okay, Madam Chair, I would move the language identified as KRB 18-02, that's Article 38, the following sections, sections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And Madam Chair, this relates to primarily facilities and technology, talks about disposing of school surplus computers, allocation of expenses among cooperating districts, respectful meals policy, that's an issue that's had some discussion, telecommunications and library telecommunications aid, and school building projects.
Thank you, Representative Knoblach. Is there any questions on this? Ms. Butler, is there anything you want to add to that? Representative Knoblach did a nice job, but no? Okay. Representative Loon, if I could ask this telecommunication access and the aid on the regional library, can you explain that a little bit more? I see there was the House language accepted, the Senate modified.
Madam Chair, well, we kind of had two different approaches on telecommunications, and so we almost have both provisions in here. So the Senate provision is actually one-time aid for districts for their telecommunications aid. The other is it appears that from the Regional Libraries Fund, which is funded through the education bill, about $350,000 that will not be spent. And so rather than taking that out of the libraries fund, we're allowing that to be used in one-time grants for telecommunications purposes, perhaps and be hotspots that people could check out for internet access and things like that. But the House felt it important to keep that money within the library fund and see if this one-time is an anomaly of the library fund not using all of their resources, or if that could change in subsequent years.
Okay, thank you, Representative Lubin. Senator Dames, Senate version?
Well, I would also support
You support it?
doing
Okay.
this, absolutely.
Thank you. Okay. Any questions on this motion? Comments? All those in favor of Representative Knoblach's motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion prevails. Representative Knoblach?
I think, Madam
We
Chair,
are done
that we
with
need
that,
some more
absolutely.
articles.
Yes, we are. We're done with Article 8. We're going to pass out Article 39, 40, and 41, members. Members, the Senate has to go vote. We are in recess. Members, let's call this back to order. Representative Knoblach, we left off with Article 39, and you should have 39, 40, and 41 before you. And we still have not adopted the spreadsheet, but Representative Knoblach will, oh, members, before you go, Representative Knoblach, I do have, we did adopt Senator Benson's A225, and it's posted, and there are more public copies outside. So we did adopt that amendment, but there are copies outside, and it is posted. With that, Representative Knoblach.
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I will move the language in the KRB 18-05 attachment. This is Article 39, and I will move in Article 39 sections 1 through 15. That's sections, and that is the entirety of the article. Make that to 1 through 17. Sections 1 through 17 I'm moving. And Madam Chair, this consists of basically 5 topics: voluntary pre-kindergarten, high school equivalency tests, ed partnerships, early education background checks, and school readiness plus.
Thank you, Representative Knoblach. And Representative Loon? Looks like you're the only one up there.
I'm, going it alone, Madam Chair. Yeah, I would support the amendment, Madam Chair. Or the article, excuse me.
Thank you. Ms. Butler, is this your area? Voluntary pre-K, high school equivalency? Who with it? Okay. I was just wondering if anybody wanted to extrapolate on this area. Nope. Okay. Any questions, discussion on Representative Knoblach's motion? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion prevails. Motion is adopted. Representative Knoblach, Article 40, please.
Madam Chair, I have the language in the KRB 18-07 attachment. This is Article 40, and Madam Chair, I will move in Article 40, sections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this is all language related to state agencies, Minnesota High School League eligibility procedures, MDA appropriations, Purpose Center appropriations, crosswinds, disposition costs. And there is a repealer in Section 7 that I'm wondering if staff could tell us what that is.
Yes. Who would like to have that one? Mr. Rosen?
Madam Chair, the repealer here is in the high school league code, and it's basically, the section being repealed requires the high school league to make a report. If you look earlier in the article, Section 2 transfers a responsibility that exists in current law for the commissioner. It transfers this kind of review and report authority directly to the league. So it's the Senate's position that the report required under the section being repealed is duplicative now with the amended language in Section 2 of this article.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Arneson. Any comments on this discussion? Representative Loon?
Madam Chair, I would support the amendment.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Representative Knoblach renews his motion on Article 40. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion prevails. Members, I just want to go back real briefly to Article 39. There was Section 10 that was not adopted. It's the grants on Tier 2 grants. Wait a second, 1 second. Okay, so we had a technical error maybe. On page 10, subdivision 10, there's grants, and that was not in your motion,
Oh, okay.
Senator Knoblach. Yeah, so
Oh, I
we're
see.
seeing where
Yep.
11 is listed twice. Under ed partnerships, that 11 must be a 10. So Representative Knoblach, would you like to move that
I
section
would.
10?
Thank you, staff, for catching that. Madam Chair, I would move. Oh, you caught it.
It was me
Wow.
that got it.
Madam Chair, I'm continually more impressed. Madam Chair, In Article 39, the KRB 18-05 language, I would move Section 10, which is page 10, lines 17 through 23, relating to grants.
Thank you very much, Representative Knoblach. On that motion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion prevails. Thank you. Hello, Senator Pratt. Then we are done with Article 40, and we're on to Article 41. Representative Knoblach.
Madam Chair, I'd move Article 41. This is the KRB 18-06 language. I would move the entirety of the article, which is sections 1 through 26. And these are the forecast adjustments. This is something that traditionally needs to be put in the bill to just to update where we are with numbers from the last forecast.
Wonderful. Thank you, Representative Knoblach, on that motion. Is there any discussion? Representative Loon?
I'd support the motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Senator Pratt?
I support it.
Staff have anything to, no, nothing there. Discussion? Members? On Representative Knoblach's motion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion prevails. Thank you, Representative Knoblach. Article 41 is done.
And
Now-
Madam Chair, I have the spreadsheets for adoption when you're ready.
Madam Chair, I have,
Representative Loon.
before we leave the articles, I have one minor technical amendment that we caught, that if I could offer that, and then we'll be done with the language portion.
Thank you, Representative Loon.
Okay, so members, on the KRB 18-08, and it's Article 36. If you go to the very last page, page 49,
Thank you.
line 14, the effective date should not be July 1st, it should be September.
Oh.
So my amendment in, again, page 49, line 14, would be to change July to September.
Thank you, Representative Loon. On that motion, does everybody understand on page 49, line 14, change July to September? Questions, discussion? All those in favor of the
Chair.
motion, say aye.
Mr. Pratt.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry,
Thank you.
Senator Pratt.
Can I get 1 second with?
Absolutely. Oh, no, you're fine.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, Senator Pratt.
Madam Chair, I concur.
Thank you. My apologies. I should have asked. Okay. Representative Loon renews her motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion prevails. Thank you. Members, we are in recess for 1 moment. Members, we'll call this to order again. Representative Loon, the adult basic education aid for community-based providers was a proposal that that was proposed, I believe, both in the House and the Senate. Is that correct?
Madam Chair, actually, it was a Senate-only provision.
Okay, thank you.
Going into conference.
And it was the price tag was about $386,000, is that correct?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
And how was that funded? Representative Loon?
Madam Chair, and I would defer to Senate staff to make sure I have this correct, but I believe it was funded through reductions to the agency. And in our negotiations, we decided that those reductions would not be part of the bill brought to conference. And so there was no longer a funding source for that ABE provision.
Ms. Larson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Loon is correct. The Senate originally carried a provision that would have provided $400,000 that would have been paid on the 90-10 shift, so it would have been $360,000 in fiscal year 2019, and then $40,000 in fiscal year 2020 to the community-based providers of ABE, and that was achieved through a cut to the agency base.
I see. How do you remember those figures, Ms. Larson? You're just talking right to me without, you don't even know what I'm going to say. And Representative Loon, my info is that there was revenue neutral. There's no way this could have been revenue neutral. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair, it's really not. I mean, the money has to come from somewhere, and again, it was funded, I think, originally through a reduction to the agency. And again, we just thought better of that idea of reducing the agency as part of our proposal to conference.
Okay, thank you very much, Representative Loon. Put that to bed. Okay, Representative Knoblach.
Madam Chair, I think now we're ready to adopt the spreadsheets. And Madam Chair, I would move the three spreadsheets. I'd move the one entitled Property Tax Tracking, which was updated on May 14th at 11:47 a.m. I would move the Aid Appropriation Summary Spreadsheet, which was updated on May 14th at 7:15 p.m. That language, that's getting really small. 7:15 p.m. And I'd move the other change item summary that was updated May 14th at 7:15 p.m. And I'd instruct staff with that motion to make all technical corrections as necessary.
Thank you. Thank you for that motion. Questions, discussion on that motion for all three spreadsheets? Thank you, Representative Knoblach. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion prevails. All righty. So any final comments, discussion? Representative Loon?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, committee members. Well, I think, again, with the money and the resources we had to use, I think we made very good use of every penny that we had. Again, with the priority being school safety and some other good projects. As with any bill that we do, there's certainly more requests than we are able to accommodate, and that's the difficult part of being a finance chair and the decisions we have to make. But hopefully the committee's in agreement that we made the best decisions we could.
Thank you, Representative Loon. And Senator Pratt?
Madam Chair, I concur with what Representative Loon said. I think it was, I think we have a good bill going forward. We tackled a lot of difficult issues this year, and I think it's a bill we can be proud of.
Thank you. I do too. I think you did a very good job with the bill.
And
Representative Loon?
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, I neglected to mention that I, as always, appreciate the comments of Commissioner Casalius, and we have worked very carefully with her and her staff this year. They've always been very gracious to work with, and I know that there are some things that they would like to see moving forward, and just that we are certainly hoping to continue to work with her and reach agreement that we'll have a bill that will be signed this year.
Very good, Representative Loon. Thank you very much. And thank you, Senator Pratt, for your work on this. With that, we are done with the K-12 articles. And members, we have the HHS articles will be posted here soon. They were posted, okay. And we will recess until after the Senate Human Services hearing, approximately at 5 o'clock. We are in recess.